The soft hum of the cafe felt louder than usual that Saturday afternoon. Every tick of the clock echoed like a reminder of another promise broken, another chance wasted. Rain streaked faintly against the windows, and the smell of roasted coffee beans filled the quiet air. Sitting at the corner table by the window was Harper Quinn, nervously fidgeting with the silver charm bracelet on her wrist. Her cup of cappuccino had already gone cold. Her heart was racing for reasons she couldn't explain: excitement, fear, or maybe a strange mix of both. Today was supposed to be her first step toward starting again, her first date in nearly 4 years. But the seat across from her was empty. Before we dive deeper, if you believe in kindness, forgiveness, and second chances, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Journal. Your support helps us share stories that remind the world that hearts can heal, even after they've been broken. Harper stared at her reflection in the window and almost laughed at herself. She wasn't new to disappointment. After losing her fiancé, Owen, to a car accident 3 winters ago, she had built invisible walls around her heart. The accident hadn't just taken the man she loved, it had taken the future she had carefully imagined. Friends told her to move on, family tried to set her up, but every time she looked at another man, she felt nothing but emptiness. This blind date was her first attempt at giving life another chance. A friend from her book club had convinced her, saying the man Eli Bennett was gentle, good-hearted, and had been through heartbreak too. But now, as the clock struck 2:30, 30 minutes past their agreed time, she felt foolish for believing that love could find her again. The waitress stopped by for the 3rd time, offering a sympathetic smile. "Still waiting, ma'am?" Harper nodded softly. "Maybe just a few more minutes." She tried to sound casual, but her voice cracked. The truth was, she didn't want to admit defeat, not yet. She glanced around the cafe. It was lively. Sunlight filtered through the glass, catching motes of dust that danced in the air. Families laughed, couples leaned close, and she sat alone, feeling like an extra in someone else's story. She picked up her phone, refreshing her messages, hoping for a text from Eli. Nothing. As she stood up to leave, brushing invisible crumbs off her beige sweater, the small bell over the cafe door chimed. 2 little girls, about 6 years old, rushed inside, their giggles filling the air like a melody. They looked like mirror images, chestnut curls bouncing, sky blue dresses twirling, and the same freckle just beneath their left eyes. Harper turned instinctively as one of them ran toward her, clutching a small folded piece of paper. "Excuse me," the girl said softly, looking up with wide, trusting eyes. "Are you Miss Harper?" Startled, Harper blinked. "Yes. I am." The other twin caught up, slightly out of breath, holding a pink stuffed bunny. "Our daddy's sorry he's late," she said earnestly, tugging on Harper's sleeve. "He told us to tell you he's parking the car." Harper froze. Her mind scrambled to piece together what was happening. "Your daddy," she repeated gently. "Who's your daddy?" Before either could answer, a man hurried into the cafe, brushing rain from his jacket. He looked around frantically until his eyes landed on Harper and the twins. "There you are," he breathed, relief softening his features. "I'm so sorry. There was traffic." And then he gestured toward the girls, who were now showing Harper their matching bracelets. Harper smiled awkwardly, torn between confusion and the sudden warmth blooming in her chest. Eli Bennett was not what she had expected. He was tall, mid-30s, with kind eyes that carried the weight of sleepless nights and soft sadness. His dark hair was slightly tousled, his shirt wrinkled like he'd rushed to get here. But behind the exhaustion, there was something else: sincerity. The kind you can't fake. He apologized again, his voice low and earnest. "I didn't mean to bring them, but their babysitter canceled last minute. I thought I'd just explain and maybe reschedule, but they insisted on coming to say hi. They said meeting someone new sounded like an adventure." The twins beamed proudly, one tugging at Harper's sleeve again. "We helped Daddy pick flowers for you." The little one held out a single daisy, slightly bent from being clutched too tightly. In that moment, something inside Harper cracked, not painfully, but softly, like ice melting under sunlight. She knelt down, taking the daisy carefully. "It's beautiful," she whispered, her voice trembling. "Thank you." Eli smiled, awkward yet grateful. "Would it be too strange if we all had lunch together?" Just a shorter version of what this was supposed to be. And somehow, Harper said yes. The next hour unfolded like a scene she hadn't known she needed. The twins, Sophie and Clara, told endless stories about their cat named Marshmallow, about how they once tried to make pancakes but used salt instead of sugar, about how their dad always works too much but still makes time for bedtime songs. Harper found herself laughing, real laughter, the kind she hadn't heard from herself in years. Eli watched her with quiet appreciation, as though he was seeing something rare. Between jokes and spilled juice, they found snippets of truth. Both had lost someone too soon, both were learning how to live again. Eli told her about his late wife, Mia, who passed away when the twins were just toddlers. His voice trembled as he spoke, but his words carried love instead of bitterness. I thought my heart had forgotten how to hope, he admitted softly, glancing at Harper. But maybe hope isn't something we find. Maybe it's something we give a chance to grow again. As the afternoon light shifted, Harper realized how easy it felt to be near him, how natural the laughter came, how gentle the silence was. There was no forced spark, no grand gestures, just quiet understanding. When Eli stood to leave, the twins ran ahead, waving goodbye to Harper through the glass. She smiled back, her eyes damp. Eli hesitated before following them out, his hand brushing hers lightly. "Thank you," he said. "For not walking out." She watched him leave, feeling something she hadn't felt in years, the stirrings of possibility. Days turned into weeks. Eli texted her the next day, then called, and soon, they were meeting again, for coffee, then for park picnics, then quiet dinners where laughter replaced loneliness. Harper grew close to Sophie and Clara, who adored her with innocent affection. They painted her cards, brought her wildflowers, and called her Miss H. Each visit filled the hollow parts of her heart, one gentle moment at a time, but not everything was easy. Harper often found herself retreating, haunted by guilt, as though moving forward meant betraying Owen's memory. One evening, she sat alone at home, staring at a photo of her late fiancé. "I'm scared," she whispered into the quiet. "Scared to forget you. Scared to love again." The next day, she found a note in her mailbox, in Sophie's uneven handwriting. It read, "Miss H, Daddy smiles again when he talks to you. Thank you for making him happy." Harper sat on her porch, clutching that note as tears spilled freely. It wasn't just about love anymore. It was about healing, about letting go of pain without letting go of love. Spring arrived, painting the world in soft pastels. Harper and Eli took the twins to a park one Sunday afternoon. The air was warm, laughter echoed, and for the first time, Harper didn't feel like she was standing in the shadow of her past. As they watched the girls chase bubbles across the grass, Eli turned to her. His voice was gentle, uncertain. "You don't have to answer, but do you think you could ever let someone new in?" Harper smiled faintly, tears welling but not from sadness. "I think I already did." Months later, the cafe where they first met became a symbol of everything that had changed. On a bright morning, Harper walked in to find the same corner table decorated with daisies. The twins ran up, giggling. "Miss H. Daddy said he's late again." They were holding a small velvet box. Before she could ask, Eli appeared behind them, smiling nervously. "I know this might seem sudden," he said, voice shaking, "but the truth is, you've brought color back into our lives. Not just for me, but for them. And I don't ever want to imagine another day without you." He got down on one knee as the twins squealed. "Harper Quinn, will you marry me?" She covered her mouth, tears streaming freely, her heart overflowing. The empty seat that had once symbolized loneliness now represented everything she had gained: love, laughter, and a family she never saw coming. "Yes," she whispered, barely able to speak. "Yes, I will." The cafe erupted in soft applause. The twins danced around them, the daisy from that first day tucked into Harper's hair.